So how much do I need to get that upgraded? We're getting there. Skills kind of coming in. XP's kind of coming in faster these days. Oh, hi. You have some lost items. They're items that you left behind on the battlefield. Where? When? I wonder. Inscribed Crest of Defiance. Does it cost money? Do I just get it? I guess I just didn't find it or something. Huh. I can see it. A lot of items sort of just kind of dangling around everywhere. Boink.
Whew, I'm feeling less cluttered already.
You feeling less cluttered? I'm selling you items. Don't you have more space? Doesn't that give you less space? You would think. What's going on there? Oh, I already max upgraded my equipment in that slot, didn't I? That's why there's just nothing there. Where's my serpent scales? Give them to me. Gotta make my mind up with some of this stuff. Partly, I just need to try to actually remember to use that skill during combat. And an enchantment that increases a random stat. Oh, generate common enchantment. It's just gonna make one. That's a little bit odd.
Anything you need, young sir.
Ah. Increased arrow capacity. That's a new one. And that's it. The end.
Now don't be a stranger.
Cool. Oh, I guess those are the glowy trident or bidents or whatever that the dark elves were using earlier. As they massacred everybody. Still, we don't really know if I made the wrong choice. All we know is that one guy expressed the idea that we did, but of course he would think that. He was on that side. They were definitely massacring the shit out of these light elves everywhere. It's not a great look. But ultimately we did just come in for an item. And the conflict was just kind of set dressing for that.
Father, I have a confession to make. All those voices in my head, well, this wasn't the first time. Back when we met Brock, his animal warned me about something hiding in the trees. That's why she didn't want to cross.
She told you?
Well, I could just feel what she was feeling, what she was afraid of.
It happens again. You tell me. Understand?
I promise.
He's experiencing other people's thoughts. And creatures. Which might add to his empath nature. When it comes to like feeling bad about the wolves, saying that they were just hungry. And stuff like that. He's probably actually feeling the thoughts and feelings and desires of these creatures. These are such comically large doors that I'm just casually opening.
To Midgard.
Alright, try again. I guess that's not how you do that.
lets us travel without moving.
It's such a beautiful effect when that comes up. I think such a large room may also make it easier to load wherever we're going to and from. Whoa, I actually damaged it. Sorry, permanently destroyed access to that realm. Hope you didn't need that one. Whoopsie doodles.
Rock! We just came back from another realm. And we met your brother. Wait, not in that order.
Did you let that seed sop put hand to your blade? Hmm? You do know he lost his talent, right? Just up and left him one day. Tried taking me down with him. Did he botch up on a girl?
Quite the opposite.
Hell, even a blind pig farts up a truffle now and again. But you know what really counts? Consistency. And I got that coming out of all of my parts.
What did you do?
It's better.
This is fitting. This is a sort of fitting adaptation of the dwarves. It's just that instead of being two brothers versus three brothers, they broke up the two brothers and made them two competing dwarves. And so as a result, they're doing the whole thing where they compete to impress the god character but in this case, they're both competing to enhance one weapon. But it is similar to the story that has like the folding boat and the golden boar and Sif's hair and Mjolnir and so on.
What realm you gents shaking off? Let me guess. Alfheim?
How'd you guess?
I'd know that smell anywhere. Used to spend my fair share of time there, but I ain't allowed anymore on account of the incident.
What happened?
Well, ain't too sure your daddy's gonna like me talking about it on account of all the swearing and stealing and fucking involved.
What?
Don't judge me. You're the one came in all reeking of elf. Stirs up a man's memories. Go on now. I got things that ain't gonna hammer themselves.
And exactly how much elf fucking you been doing?
So what'd you find out there?
Didn't even get a good look at what they look like, to be honest. I'm not particularly equipped to even try to imagine it. It looked very odd. Straight up stat upgrade in this one's case. Level 3+. Oh wait, that's just one I can't afford. That's not what I'm equipping or anything. Huh. Yeah, because that's what I've got now. This one's just an outright upgrade. Level 3+. Has a socket. 23 more defense. Other stuff. But I need more Ancient's Hearts. Whereas my shoulder guard is maximum upgrade already, so it's kind of not great that it's already being passed up by these other things, obviously. Because now these are strength enhancing pieces of equipment that are also blue quality. Whoa. This, I can see why this is hard to get. Requires me to do a lot of ancients killing. Because I assume there's at least 3 pieces in this set, and when you get them up, you get 85% resistance to frost, burn, and poison, which just makes you incredibly resistant to different stats. Probably going to want to get that in the long term. There might be some kind of scenario where you kind of need it more so. At the moment, this is the reasonable one, I think. More defense, more strength. Why? Oh, there's a 4 strength thing inside of my current equipment. I was like, why doesn't it say +4 on the strength meter on the far right? Challenge accepted. We'll see about that. I am excellent at getting pieces hacked off of me. Wear it with pride. Next upgrade's gonna be a bit more.
Right. Lots of luck.
For strength. Currently equipped, but is it currently equipped in the thing that I already took off of me? No, not that. I want to... Do I have to press... You can't go to its sockets, you have to equip it, then go to its sockets, then unsock it, then unequip it. It's a really roundabout system. Really unnecessary. That's what I thought, that the 4 strength was in the... It says equipped, but it was equipped in something that I'm not wearing. It's not necessarily what I want. 50% burn resist. It is a lot of strength overall. Right, we have the magic combat tree now. Light arrows increase weaken status effect on enemies. Inflict more stun damage to enemies. These are also pretty cheap upgrades. Even more stun. Larger explosions. Ah. Increase the area of effect. Maximizing stun makes a lot of sense. Frankly, during combat, the light arrows and everything that involves Atreus, the arrows and the wolves are just frankly the easiest things to use, so making that stuff as powerful as possible is going to go a long way. Because I can kind of just continually pepper the enemies with arrows while I'm trying to deal with them by just tapping here and there. And now we have one more arrow in our cap also.
Do you remember the way back to the Black Breath?
Of course. We need to walk across the bridge to the Vanaheim Tower. Are we going to the Black Breath or exploring? Your choice.
Well, the question is, which of these areas did I need light arrows for? Not gonna lie, don't remember at all. It's kind of the issue. Oops. Pressed it twice. Sindri told us about the dwarf Fafnir, who was renowned for his collection of stolen treasures. A treasure-filled storeroom sounds like it might be worth a look. Sindri asked us to keep an eye out for a special whetstone from Niflheim. I just hope nobody got there before us. I would like to go there. Looking at the map, I'm not super clear on how to get there. Do I just go... Oh yeah, never mind, this is a dotted line right here, so I just go towards this head. Okay, so let's explore for a bit then. I'm not sure if I want to go about the process of poking through every single thing I tried to look through already. The first time I went through around the lake. I'm sure I'll do it later in the playthrough when I have more abilities, but until then, it's going to be really hard to remember which spots around the lake might have had certain abilities and or needed certain abilities to get by and which ones needed other abilities to get by, or exactly what I was stuck on. At the very least, I'll probably wait until I gain access to the full translation tablet. Is probably a good milestone to look for. Because that's at least 2 or 3 of the locations requires me to be able to translate stuff that I couldn't translate yet. That's a decent starting point. A lot of basalt columns. I apparently have never seen this spot before. Very loud breathing. Going by the map, it seems like this is where the serpent's head is. Oh yeah, there he is. Where are you? Death to you. Whoa. Did I just get like 3,000 experience for killing a raven, or was that a stack of different effects? I'm not sure. Yes. I would like an additional wolf. How did you know? That wolf ability is so cool that it's going to be kind of a hard ask for me to switch to any other summon whenever I get a new one. Like you kind of started straight on my favorite, which is wolves. Anything else, it's probably not a wolf, which just means it's worse.
Treasure from 4 different realms. Do you think that Fafnir went to Alfheim too?
I do not know.
Aren't you curious? He sounds interesting.
We go to the storeroom to collect anything useful for our journey, not to learn more about the dwarf.
He always says that shit, but like, the process of learning stuff can itself be useful. I mean, we learned that there's a storehouse full of special relics. So that's the thing we learned about by listening to people. And we could also learn where to find more relics. Learning is helpful for like 100 different reasons, really. And one of the reasons I'm interested in doing this, though, is that the fact that he suggested it on the way out of that zone suggests that it's a thing you can specifically do once you have the light arrow unlocked. Which is handy. And there he is.
Have you made it out of Fafnir's storeroom yet?
You know we haven't. You've been waiting here, and we are on our way in, not out. Simple concept, Sindri. I saw you. And dead. Yeah, it's only 100 experience. The like 2,800 it told me I got must have been as a result of like discovering the new waypoint, I guess.
I wish Mom were here.
He just hammered the Mario theme. He just went dun 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 dun. I might have imagined it, but it sounded so recognizable to me the first time he did it. Come out, come out. I want to throw my horde of wolves at you. Hello. You guys are everywhere. What's the deal with that? That one wasn't even hidden.
Uh-oh. I must have gotten here first.
It was like directly in the direction I was looking in when I came in. That's a lot of you guys. Would you like a fight? Well, you're deleted. Step 1, be 1 billion points strong. Step 2, swing axe. There, I taught you. It was not effective feedback. Double wolves. Haha. I do love that as Atreus gets stronger and we start summoning a bunch of wolves, we're essentially starting to have like an army of our own on my side of things. Haha.
That takes care of that.
I dropped the fire on you. Ooh, CERN is here again. I don't see a single bell. There's one. CR. That's 2 bells.
What's that?
There you are. Another one, huh? Yep.
I see something up there.
What a coincidence. I see something up there. Gimme. Ah, the Horn of Blood mead. What a weird fucking story. So, there's the Vanir and the Aesir. The war god, the Vanir are the fertility farming gods, and the Aesir are the war gods. So Frey and Freya are Vanir, Aesir are Loki, Odin, Thor, Baldur, not Freya, Sif, Idun, I think. There's tons of them. Just most of them really are that. And they were fighting for a while, but they were like, yo, the two of us, we kind of need each other. In particular, it felt like the Aesir needed the Vanir, because what's the point of going to war if there's no lands being tilled and food and home and so on.
Another entrance.
So they made a pact. They decided to make peace with each other, and they even, interestingly, they even did some like integration where they took people from each civilization and settled them in the home of the other person's civilization, helping to ensure that the two would be, I don't know which of these two directions. Oh, there's a chest up there, so that's the optional one. Helping to, you know, incorporate them and have them all like become closer and more peaceful with each other, which is kind of neat. Rather forward thinking and interesting thought process there. To like get to actually intermix your living conditions so that you don't otherize each other anymore. But they sanctified their plot by all spitting in a vat. Just all of them spit in a vat. And then they were partying and having a good time. They're like, well, we're getting ready to wrap this whole thing up. It'd be weird if we wasted this vat full of spit. We wouldn't want to leave it here, right? So that's like what Freya, I think, said to Odin or something. And Odin's like, yes, this is reasonable. Who would want to waste a vat full of spit? And I'm like, what the fuck am I reading right now? So they turn it into a person. It's a strange choice. He's this half Aesir, half Vanir hybrid. And he's the wisest of all the gods. A very strange plot detail. Is this the back of the locked door? Open. Aha. There we go. He is the wisest of all the gods. And he knows the answers to everyone's questions. So gods keep asking him questions, he knows all the answers. It's a little weird, because I can't keep track of how... So many people have this, like, wisdom power level, and I don't know how to compare any of them with each other. Like, Odin... Like, there was a giant that had a wellspring that would make you wise if you drank from it. And Odin sacrificed his eye for the chance to drink from it. And that's how he became wise. I'm like, okay.
Boy.
Another map. Bet we'll find something useful here.
Based on that, it really seems like Odin and that giant are pretty goddamn clever. Like, they might be top of the whole thing. But the giant goes off to the Vanir lands, and despite giving good counsel, he's blamed for bad things that happen, and they decapitate him. But then Odin, like, brings his head back to life and uses it continuously for good counsel. But I'm like, that giant, wasn't he supposed to be, like, incredibly wise? But he went off and got himself decapitated. Strange. But then again, we know this whole time that Odin seems like he's acting like he's supposed to be real smart, but he's pretty much causing Ragnarok while trying to prevent it. So maybe everyone's an idiot that just thinks they're smart and gets a reputation for being smart, while everyone's full of shit in this entire universe.
Looks like the Reavers made it inside. I hope they didn't take all the treasure.
There we go. We have 4 symbols, one of them is now lit up. But anyway, this half Vanir, half Aesir character seems to actually be incredibly smart and wise and knowledgeable in a way that in a way that's more genuine than the characters that always are being called that, but maybe are full of shit throughout these narratives. Because he seems to actually know everyone's answers all the time. Hey there. But he seems to get bored though, or has a higher calling or something. Because he answers all these gods' questions, and he's like, he feels satisfied that he's finished his job here. And he's like, my people need me, so he goes off to Midgard to just go help random people. Like, oh, how nice is this guy? He just wants to make sure everyone gets their questions answered. Spreading his knowledge and his gift to all.
Just some stupid pots. Draw them. No magical treasure, and no what's...
Keep your expectations low, boy, and you will never be disappointed.
I'm like, okay, this guy's, he's altruistic and he's smart. Seems like a pretty alright dude. I like this character. He meets a couple of dwarves. These dwarves seem like they might be evil. And he's like, he goes there to answer their questions. And they're like, if you're so goddamn smart, wouldn't you already know what our question is before we even ask it? Or wouldn't you even know what we're gonna do before we even do it? And then he admits that yes, he does already know. He already knows their questions and their answers. Like it's almost like he's just playing along whenever he tells somebody, like whenever he lets people ask a question, because he actually just already knows the question the whole time and just kind of plays along and politely, and then answers it once they ask it. But not only that, he already knows that this guy, these dwarves, because they're so evil, they're going to murder him, and they're going to make mead out of his blood. And he says that, and they're like, "You're right." And then they do that, and I'm like, I don't understand. So they make mead out of his blood.
They caught you off guard.
I wasn't expecting them.
Exactly.
It's the mead of poets, which I can only assume is what they're referring to in this game when you have the blood mead. Because, you know, it's mead made out of blood. If I remember correctly, they slit his neck like a pig and then hung him from his feet and just drained all of the blood and then made mead out of it. And it would make you a poet if you drank it. Very strange. I can only guess that, like a Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen, his level of knowledge and wisdom and everything made him so detached from reality that he barely cared about the consequences of his own actions or even his own death. So intellectually driven that nothing else mattered, I suppose. Because he just walked into his own death knowing it was going to happen, and then it happened. I'm like, alright. Strange. We'll finish that story next episode. It's a long one.